And we could probably do a better job of communicating if we listen, okay? And if we do a good job of listening, people are going to be attracted to us. And the more people that we attract to us in our willingness to listen and share, the more this business becomes one of attraction rather than of promotion. Now, there's a big difference between those two. If we're out there trying to push something, that's just like what a vendor does, what a salesperson does. I happen to come from that background, so, I respect it. I know how hard it is. And I know that you got to be good at it to make a decent living. But when we get back to Steve's words about, keep it simple, be yourself. And the last thing he said is don't ever quit. Well, that seems right, too. Everybody quits all the time. And the fact of the matter is they quit because their expectations haven't been met. And that happens to be, next to the ego, the greatest source of conflict. Expectations aren't met. Think about a relationship. Think about a relationship with your children. Think about some of the problems that happen when you report to somebody in the workaday world. Conflict begins when something doesn't go right, when the you-know-what hits the fan. Expectations are not met and conflict begins. Is that a reason to quit? Well, if that's your job, you're going to get up every morning and show up to see how much more of that conflict you can handle. And most people manage to get over it. In our business, we've got conflict as well, too. We're in the people business. We're also in a startup. I'll give you the fact that we've been here for a year. But you've got to consider the fact, A, that it is multi-level, and combined with that, nothing's wrong with multi-level. It's still the greatest way to get to people, cheaper than straight advertising, and more effective. Who would rather buy from me than people who know me? All right? But a point I was trying to make here is that as we're out here talking to people, they've got problems too. We don't want to lead them to believe that we have any. We can talk openly. But for the most part, the don't quit thing means you got to be smiling too. You got to be enthusiastic. God within us, and theos, the spirit within, very important things. All that stuff is wrapped up in what Steve told me. Keep it simple, be yourself, and don't quit. Okay? So Father Simonetti, as we began, talked about repetition is the mother of learning, the mother of skill. So what we've got to do is focus in on not necessarily new jargon. It's not a new vocabulary, but the focus is on the actual method, the actual program, the actual invention that we call unilevel comp plan. Okay? So we're going to work on building our first line. Each person, in order to move through the system, has to build their own first level as well. Let's go to the next thing. How do we build this? Well, right off the bat, you know that in order for Fast Start to be triggered, somebody's got to become a managing representative and gather 3 customers. We've got a real simple way to do that. Simple way to do that is to contact 3 of your friends. Say, I'm going to sign you up as a customer on this deal here. Would you have any objection to spending $30 for a sample? Now, you can sell all 3 of them to one person, but, you do the math however you want to do it. But if you register people and get them to purchase our Welcome Essentials for $30 stinking, and it isn't where you spend the money, so we get money. Are you willing to invest $30, or are you willing to invest $150 a month for the next 2 or 3 months to get rid of that malady that you're suffering from? If they say, well, I'll tell you what, I'm in so much pain, or I'm so disappointed in myself, I'm so depressed, I'm so anxious, I can't sleep, I'm pacing the floor, and I think I'm going nuts, I think I'd spend whatever the heck it took to get CBD into my body, based upon what we know about it. And as you notice, when I'm on these calls, I do not spend a whole lot of time on CBD because we've got to stipulate for in deference to everybody's schedule and time. We can't be teaching you something new about CBD every day. It's on the website. That's all you have to know. All you have to know. And the less you know, the better off you're going to be. If you need some help, go to your upline. If you need some help, send them to a website. Do not try to be an expert in the product. The trend is happening now because CBD works. It's legal in 50 states. Things are happening in the government. We are ahead of the curve still. And we've got to talk to a lot of people so that we can build our army who will share the fact that this business is a simple business. Okay? Now, when somebody signs up, you got to say, first thing I want to recommend, thank you, welcome. I'm happy to hear that you're going to join me. But one thing I've got to teach you and share with you, and it's the most important thing I'm probably ever going to tell you, and they're going to go, what's that? You have to be a product of the product. How are you going to go out and sell this stuff unless you know yourself? Hearsay and third party is great. I understand. But there's no story more powerful than your story. So you got to be a product of the product. So I look back at my sponsor and say, all right, so what do I got to do? Well, you sign it up today for $299.97. It's going to cost you $14.97 a month. I'll show you how to make that $300 back relatively quickly if we work on this together and we do it. But I want you to be a product of the product by buying the option here, the representative option. And for $99.97, you're going to get a full quantity, what do you call it? Package of our three products. So you can try them all, see which one you like. You get 2 5-day samples. In 5 days, it's going to be gone. Are we going to save the world in 5 days? No. You get them to try the sample, and then you ask them which one they prefer the best. Well, I like the stab on my wrist. Or I love that finger before I go to bed. I find myself sleeping on that. Come to think of it, I take that capsule every day, and it's easy to do, and I'm in the car, and I'm off to work, and I've been having a little happier time. Okay, so you know it works. Which one do you think you'd like to have? That's what those samples are all about. But back to my idea about being a product of the product, get those representatives to understand how to do that, because they got to go out and gather some more customers. But you are the sponsor, and they're going to be sponsors soon. You get them to buy the option where they're going to get 3 full-sized portions, I guess we'll call it, of the product. For $99.97, are you kidding me? The great thing, by the way, is that you, as the sponsor, receive the 3 customer points because those would be purchased for personal use by your new rep. Now, the rep might say, well, why the heck do I want to do that? That's all about you. No, it's not all about you. I know about you. You say it's all about you because within the next week, you are going to become a sponsor, and your responsibility is to share this information and get the people on your front line to do the same thing. Well, how many people am I going to need on my front line? Well, you need 3 in your first group, the 7-level deal. We call that the MindXL organization. You're going to have to recruit 6 in your AD organization, 1 at a time, and then you're going to need a batch in your regional director code. But don't worry, you can probably do that with 6 or 10. Good. All right. Now, why am I going through adding up these things on the unit level? If all of those people that you sponsor into the business take the representative option and buy the Nextel kit, we call it, you get 3 customer points for each one of those. If you've got 10 people on your front line, I hate to tell you, but you've got 30 points, which allays the fear of everybody who's asking me, Bob, what do you want me to do? Gather customers or gather reps? Gather reps, my friends. Customers are going to come, and they're going to be the people who don't want to build a business. They'll buy the product anyway. But what happens is that is a very, very slick way for everybody to gather all of their customers. Well, I'm an AD. Now I got to go out and gather my 10 customers, I guess. No. If you were recruiting with the unilevel in mind, and you were offering the rep option, you will have all of those customers. And we're not saying, don't worry, you don't have to go out and gather customers. All I'm telling you is at the AD level, you need 10. I mean, if you've got 3 people with 3 customer points because they bought the option, there's 9. Go out and get your mom. You got 10. All right? It's not difficult. It is not difficult. Now, the last thing, everybody isn't going to jump into the business opportunity. A lot of people just don't like these things. A lot of people don't want to work. A lot of people don't want the money. A lot of people would rather go bowling or play golf. That's fine and dandy. To each their own. But here's the point. At some point in time, if they say, well, I don't want to do the business, or I don't want to do this, or I don't want to do that, well, at least you'd try the product with them.
Tag job for my...
And they'll go, well, yeah. How much is it? So you whip out your handy price sheet. Don't worry, you're all going to have one. And you're going to look at them and you're going to say, well, that's $52, blah, blah, blah. But, however, because this is your first order, I'll save you 20% on your first order. You might even buy 2 bottles.
Right?
20% on 2 bottles? Well, yeah. It'll save you $30.
You got a red and...
Then the following month, when it comes time to buy it, the price is going to go up, and we're going to have something else to share with them. They're not going to get 20% off of every order they get. You're going to say, man, that first order was inexpensive. This one's more. Well, then you must be interested in buying at the lowest possible price. Is that right? Well, I'd be a fool if I were. All right. Well, then I recommend that you become a managing representative. I'm not doing that. I'm not building a business. I'm retired. But I know it's like a fire club. Put in $300.
There's another flower.
I'm going to give you a membership in the My Deals. You can save some money there. You can save money on the product. By the end of the year, you could not have purchased a high-quality product like Excel CBD for the amount of money you spent on it. So we'll get some people who are going to say, okay, I'll do that. And look, if they don't have $300, it depends on how much pain they have or how miserable their life is. Because I'm telling you, they'll go eat dinner. Cost you $150 to go eat dinner. Don't eat 2 dinners and you're in the business. And as you gather people into the business, some of them will come in, buy people. You'll get commissions on that. That'll pay you $14.97. Plus the amount of money you save on the product. On people. I get fired up just thinking about how simple it is. And our whole visit today was all about helping you better understand our business model, which is a unilevel. If we were all live, I love doing this live. We'd do it all day on the board, do some exercises. Show you where the hidden little gems are in the organization. Show you that the comp plan is far more powerful than we let everybody know. Why? Because people have the need to know. And we're trying to discourage that. Because the less you know, the easier it is for you to do. Anyway,
whoa, that's
how do you get people in trouble? Not that answer. Well, if that's the case, when everybody works on one level, how many levels do you have to work on? Work on your first one. Move through the system methodically. You know when to move on. The comp plan won't let you go beyond that unless you force that somehow. And a lot of times people force it just by saying, here, I want you to sign up under so-and-so, and then I'll help this guy out. And that guy. Well, that's fine and dandy. That's real generous. You do that when you're making about $100,000 a month. Let's start out by getting our money back, teaching people to do a simple thing.
Shut up, Bob.
Saturdays are sacred to me. I've got a lot of things to do today. But the blessings come when I pass forward some of the things that I learned from other people. And I was happy to share those things with you today. Keep it simple. Be yourself.
It's all Bowerhead.
Talk to a lot of people and don't quit.
Kuna Matata.
That's all I got to say today, my friends. We'll see you on Tuesday. I believe I'll be here Tuesday, God willing. And if I'm not, you say whatever happened to that Torsi guy. Well, he's up in the multi-level marketing realm in the sky. Oh God help us. All right, have a good Saturday, everybody. Love you.
Thanks, Chuck.